mute. Thank you for that, Calvin. Thank you. How are you? How are you? How has your week been? How has your week been? Thank you so much for letting me know you can't hear me. But how has your week been going? Are you excited about the weekend? Are you excited about the weekend? Y'all still can't hear me? Let's see. Okay, you can hear me now. Hello, April. How are you? As you come on, state your name and where you're from so I can see that you're tuning in, whether you're tuning in from YouTube, you're tuning in from our ministry page or my personal page. Let me know that you are tuning in. Let me know that you're tuning in. I hope you guys have had an amazing week. I hope that you saw God, right? Thank you so much for letting me know you can hear me. I hope, that you saw God this week, right? In spite of some things that may have occurred in your life, I pray that you still saw God, right? So if you saw God, I just want you to say, I saw God, right? God showed up in my life. I am not going to be on here long, right? But there's some stuff I want to go over with you all. If you haven't shared the video, go ahead and share the video. If you haven't, tag your 4 people. Tag 4 people that you need to hear this. Like, it literally dropped in my spirit, you all, as I have been in my study and I'm preparing for next week, right? I'm preparing for the beginning of the month. I'm glad you're doing good, Calvin. I'm glad you're doing good. My week, I'm blessed. I can't complain. I can't complain. But I'm literally like in study preparing for next month series, Raising the Bars, and I'm super excited about that. I'm excited about the women that I'm going to be impacting for the next 2 months. So I've been really just seeking God and putting some stuff together, and I'm like so excited about the revelation that God has given me on some things, and it's just really blowing my mind, right? But tonight, I want to talk to you all as you go ahead and share the video. But I want to talk to you all about, because it dropped in my spirit that some people, some of you have been feeling tired, you're feeling tired, whether it's the tired of, I just want to be lazy, or it's the tired of, you're tired of where you are. You're tired of how you're living. You're tired of your living arrangement. It literally dropped in my spirit that some of you are even tired of the space that you're living in. You're tired of the people that you've been connected to. There is a spirit of tiredness that has come upon you. And I'm going to tell you, that's a great thing. That's a great thing when you get tired in certain areas, because sometimes you can get tired of the connections that you are currently connected to. You can get tired of your job. How many of you ever been tired of your job, right? And what I've come to find out is sometimes when you get tired, you will find yourself walking off your job, right? You're like, okay, the Lord told me to leave, right? But sometimes it's not that. Sometimes that tired feeling can set you up to question God. Sometimes that tired spirit is actually something that you're normal. Some people are comfortable. I'm going to say this. Some people are comfortable, or they're at a place in their life where they're not finishers. Okay. So I need you to understand tonight, I need you to ask yourself, are you a finisher? Because if you're not one that finish things, you can be in the middle of something. You can start a job and it's like, oh, this is not it. But it's really that spirit of giving up, that spirit of quitting that has you in that predicament. So you have to really make sure that it's God talking to you. And the only way to really acknowledge that is you have to first acknowledge whether or not you are a finisher. Because let me tell you, some people start things, but they don't finish things. Some people know how to get people to go to another level or get people through the door, but they don't know how to walk through the door themselves. And some people are actually finishers. Whatever they start, they're eager and determined to finish. So when you find that person that's been on their job 30 plus years, they're finishers, right? Even through the pain, even through the chaos, they're still able to persevere. They're still able to finish some things. Am I talking to somebody tonight? If you haven't shared the video, definitely go ahead and share the video. Go ahead and tag your 4 people, because I really want to go over this thing. But some of you like I said, if dropped in my spirit that you're feeling tired. You're feeling tired. And notice that it's titled, Are You Tired? Right? You tired? You tired? But have you wrote it down? And the reason I'm asking you, have you wrote it down? Because sometimes in that place of being tired, you don't feel like praying. Oh man, if I'm talking to you, come on. I'm just saying. All right, that's what if literally when you're tired, you don't feel like praying. When you're tired, you don't feel like talking to God. When you're tired, you don't feel like even really thinking about your problems, right? Some of you just want to sleep away. You sleep away the day thinking that when you wake up in the morning, it's going to be fixed, right? But it's not. It's still going to be there, because a lot of times when that spirit of tiredness is upon you, you're in battle. You're in a spiritual warfare right now, but you're in a warfare not against the enemy. You're in a warfare with contentment. You're in a warfare with things that you have adapted to that have made you comfortable, but yet it's not, how should I say this? It's not beneficial for you. It's more of a hindrance for you. And you have to be truthful with yourself. Get what I'm saying? You got to be honest with yourself. It's okay. Let me tell you, everybody is not a finisher. So it's okay if you're not one to finish. But you got to ask yourself, when am I going to get to a place where I get transformed, right? I get transformed and I transition into that finisher, because I'm telling you now, the only reason you have not fulfilled the things that you've been trying to fulfill is because you just won't finish. You just won't finish. And sometimes you have to connect to other finishers in order to get to that next level. But the problem is you keep connecting to people that know how to start, but they don't know how to finish. You connect, and the thing is, guess what? You don't necessarily have to just connect to finishers. I always tell people, don't just connect to finishers. You also need to connect to people that can get you through the door. Because sometimes you may not have that energy, right? Or you may be too shy to actually walk yourself through the door yourself. So you need somebody that's just going to push you through the door. If that's you, you need to say, I just need a push, right? You need somebody that's going to push you through the door. I'm telling you, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help some of you, because I'm telling you now, you're tired. And the reason you're tired is because nothing is changing. I'm going to say that again. The reason you're tired is because nothing is changing. And even though nothing's changing, your mind is still reminiscing over visions that you had 5 years ago, that you had 7 years ago. Your mind is reliving moments where you spoke, this time next year, I was going to be here. Your mind is envisioning places that you've always saw for your life. And you're tired because you're not seeing it. You're tired because an entire decade has passed and you still have not seen it. And so you're tired. And when you get tired, you don't want to pray. Can we be honest tonight? You don't want to pray. Some of you want to scream. Some of you are good at asking the question, why? God, why am I still here? Why am I still here? I've received prophecy after prophecy. I've heard a word after a word. Come on, am I talking to you tonight? I've literally heard a word after a word. I've heard my pastor speak over and over again into my life, but yet I'm still in this place and I'm tired. I'm tired. I've been speaking, I'm going to own a house for over a decade, and I'm still in this same place. I spoke over my life that my vehicle would never get repossessed again. I spoke over my life that I would never lose my home again. And yet I find myself back in this place. I told myself the next man I end up with, he was going to be the man I married. But yet I found myself back in this place. I told myself that this time I'm going to go hard for my business, and my business is going to boom and it's going to be successful, and I'm going to get myself out of this predicament. And I find myself back at this place, and God, I am tired. And you get to that place where you're tired and you're saying to yourself, I don't have nothing else to say. Because the only question I have is why? I don't understand why, God. Why am I still in this place? Am I talking to you tonight? Am I talking to you tonight? Is this hitting home for you tonight? God bless you, Ashley. Is this hitting home to you tonight? You told yourself that the next time you produce a vision, it is going to get you to the place that you were called to be. And yet you find yourself back in the same place and you're tired. You're tired and you're not talking to God. Because you feel like every time you speak, every time something comes out of your mouth, it's almost like you were reneging. Because every time you say it, the very thing you're speaking, you're not seeing. And you're tired of not seeing what has been spoken. You're tired of not seeing the prophecies. The prophets are prophesying over your life, and they're telling you you're about to walk through this door. You're about to walk through that door. This is about to happen for you. And you're like, God, I am tired of this. I am tired of being in this place of hope. I am tired of being in this place where it lives in my mind, but I'm not living it in reality. I am getting tired. If I'm talking to you, I want you to say, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm finna help you tonight. I'm going to help you with some things tonight. I really am. I'm going to help you because it felt heavy on me that you're tired. You're tired of struggling over your bills. You're tired of every month coming up. You're scraping change to figure out how this bill is going to be paid and how that bill is going to be paid. You've gotten to a place you're like, I'm tired. I want to be free from this. I want to be free from the bondage. I want to be free. Come on now. If I'm talking to you, you should be saying, I'm tired. I'm tired. And let me tell you, it's okay. Let me tell you, it is okay. You need to understand that it is okay to be tired. It is okay to get tired because it's in your tired place. Woo! It's in your tired place that a shifting takes place. It's in your tired place that you begin to receive some stuff. But this is the thing I need you to understand tonight. I need you to understand this now. Did you write it down? Because when you're tired, you don't want to talk to God. Oh, I know some of you deep people are saying, no, I talk to God every day. No, when you're tired, you don't want to talk to him. You don't want to be in his presence because a lot of times when you get tired, you're blaming God. You're blaming God and you feel like he let you down. Can I get a witness? You feel like he let you down, right? When you get tired, you feel like somebody's been lying to you. You feel like, is this a joke here? Are the prophecies even real? Are my visions even real? Why am I seeing myself at a bigger place and yet I'm not living this? So you get tired. Get tired. But I need you to ask yourself, did you write it down? And the reason I need you to ask that is because, it really dropped down spirit. Everybody that follow me know that Habakkuk 2:2 is one of my favorite scriptures. Write the vision and make it plain. But it said, he who read it will run with it. Let me tell you something. Sometimes, can I help you? Sometimes you don't need to speak to God. You need to read what was written in your own handwriting and run with it. Sometimes that boost that you're looking for when you're tired is not in your praise. It's not in you, asking God all these questions, but it's absolutely in you reading the very thing you wrote when you were in your place of joy, when you were in your place of faith, when you were in your place of hope, when you were when you were in your strong belief, right? And you really believed it was going to happen and you wrote it down, but then you got tired all of a sudden. Sometimes you got to go back to the drawing board. You got to go back to what you wrote. And when you read it, it's going to light a fire fire on the inside of you that's going to cause you to run even when you were tired. Why? Because when you thought you were tired, the minute you decide to read what you wrote when you had energy, it gave you a boost. My God, it gave you energy like an energy drink. It gave you that boost that you needed, even in the midst of tiredness, to get up and run, get up and go, get up and sprint. See, I need you to understand something, that sometimes you will get tired. You will get tired, but it's very important that you write down some stuff before you ever get to the point of being tired. Did you write down the success of your business? Not the success of your business in your future, but the success of your business for 2021. Did you write down the success of your home for 2021? Or did you just skip that over and you didn't put a date on it and you just wrote it, right? And you wrote the name, but you wasn't specific enough. So you got to be specific in your writing. You got to be specific with that thing. Why? Because I'm telling you now, some of you got to learn how to use your voice. You have to learn how to use the tools that God is giving you. You can't just write it down. You got to write it down and stamp some dates on that thing. Because I'm going to tell you now, if you are tired and you didn't write it down and you don't read it and you don't run with it, you're going to be reliving a cycle and you're going to end up back in the predicament that you were in last year and the year before that and the year before that. Because every time you get tired, you stop. Am I talking to somebody? Every time you get tired, you stop. Every time you get tired, you get lazy. Every time you get tired, you start disrespecting your vision. Am I helping you? I need you to understand. So you got to ask yourself, did you write it down? And if you wrote it down, do you know where it's at? Do you know how to get it when you're tired? Do you know how to grab it when you're tired? Why? Because that's why you wrote it down. You wrote it down because when you can't make a sound out of your mouth, when you don't know how to speak it into the atmosphere out of your mouth, you wrote it down so that your eyes could read it. And the minute your eyes read it, a fire lights up on the inside of you, and you begin to run. Some of you can't run because you ain't read it. Can I get a witness? Some of you have gotten tired and you went to sleep and you think it's going to drop in your lap. You think when you wake up in the morning, there it is. But guess what? The energy that you're looking for, the solutions that you need is going to come after you read it, after being tired. After being tired, it's okay. You're not the only one that gets tired. Can I help you? You're not the only one that gets tired. You spoke over your life that this will never happen to you again. You spoke over your life that you were done with your losing season. You spoke that, but did you write it? Did you write it down? Because when it looks like it ain't working out for you, I'm going to need you to go back to what was written. And I'm going to need you to birth it out. Come on, I'm telling you. I'm going to need you to, because when you're tired, you stop remembering what you wrote. See, the Bible declares that you can speak those things as though they already are. See, the Bible says that we have power to speak into the atmosphere things that we desire, things that we want, but they are not necessarily here. But the Bible also says, write the vision and make it plain, and he who read it will run with it. See, we got to understand, this is what you got to understand. Now, why would he tell you that? He told you that because he knew you would get tired, because he knew the world would throw things at you that will make you want to give up. He knew that things that you were taught as a child, things that you were taught growing up would be a hindrance to your future. God knew that. So he said, I want you to write it down, because when you wrote it down, you were in a state of belief. You were in a state where you had faith. You were in a place where it didn't matter what it looked like. You knew that this was going to happen. And when you get to a place of being tired, you stop feeling that way. That's why I need you to ask yourself, did you write it down? because you need to go to the place where you wrote it down and you need to read it so you can start running. This is word. This is Bible. I need you to understand that, because I know you're tired. Listen, I know you're tired. You're tired of the relationship after relationship after relationship. You're tired of being with the same type of man over and over again. But can I ask you something? What are you doing differently that you didn't do differently last time? One of the things we have to understand is that King Solomon, he asked God for wisdom. I mean, that's what he asked God for. He wanted wisdom. Wisdom was more valuable than money, more valuable than women. It was more valuable than anything that he could have. Wisdom. What wisdom are you allowing yourself to receive in the area where you want the change? You want to be in a better relationship with the opposite sex. You want to finally meet the man that God has for you so that you can get married. But what wisdom are you allowing to be imparted in you in that area of your life? The only way you're going to break that cycle of getting with the same type of man, the only way you're going to finally meet your husband, you have to get an understanding of marriage, but you have to also get an understanding of your marriage, what you are assigned to. You can't be looking for someone else's spouse. Oh, I like the way your husband does this, or I like the way your man or woman does this. No, because everyone's marriage is unique. Everyone's relationship is unique, and you will miss the man or the woman that God has for you because you're caught up with the trend that they show on social media. You're caught up with the illusion that they show you, and you have to gain wisdom in that area. Oh, you thought because you met him at the church that he was the man. You thought that you met him at the grocery store and he said something about the Lord, he was the man. You thought that because you had one thing in common or three things in common, he was the man. But what you have to understand is, you have to understand something, that sometimes what you are really seeking God for, you are lacking the wisdom in that particular area. Some of you want the relationship that you show off. It's a showcase. You want to be shown off because you want, that's how you define love. That may be your love language, when you're shown off and they embrace you and they show you in public. Well, I've heard some people say, well, if you're not being shown in public, then there's no love there. That is not true. Society makes you believe certain things and it becomes true to you, and you will miss what God really has for you. We have to understand, I tell people, we serve a jealous God, a jealous God. So even when you're married, you have to be careful. Even when you're in a relationship, you have to be careful. Some of you, your relationships have not worked because you consume yourself in it. And you love this person so much that you put God aside. We serve a jealous God. So therefore, you have to gain wisdom that whatever I do not love this person more than I love God. Because if I love this person more than I love God, then there will be chaos, there will be corruption, and it won't be brought from the enemy, but it will be sent from the one that said, do not love it. You got to understand, we serve a jealous God. You can't love someone more than you love God. You got to love God. You got to love God more. Why? Because if God told you to do something, you're so consumed in the relationship that now you're disobeying God. And God is not going to have that. He's not. So you have to gain wisdom on some things and realize that, man, I keep dating the same type of men because I haven't gained wisdom in the area. Why am I constantly being attracted to the same type of men? Why is this happening to me over and over over again. Maybe there's some issues that you got to deal with from your past. You got to deal with that maybe you experienced with your father. You got to deal with it. And guess what? You got to literally forgive, and you got to be cleansed, and you got to be delivered so that now you can be set free from this cycle. But you need wisdom in order to do that. You need wisdom in order to do that. That means you gotta put yourself in a position to receive more in this area. I need you to understand this. To receive more in this area. And I don't know why I'm on relationship. That means somebody watching, or one of you watching, or some of you watching, you're eager and you desire to be married. You desire to be in a relationship. And the thing is, you're making excuses now why you haven't fulfilled the vision, why you haven't fulfilled the dream, and you think, oh, the minute I get married, it's going to happen. But can I tell you, marriage is not something that's designed to be easy. It's a lifetime. It's a lifetime for a reason. Why? Because it's processed, and anything processed is not easy. Anything processed is going to have hurdles. Anything processed is going to have tough moments. And guess what? You think you're distracted now. The minute you get in a relationship, you're really going to be distracted. So you got to say to yourself, now I got to get disciplined enough. I got to get in alignment, and I got to wake up and run, because hello, I need to do it now. You can't blame your children why you ain't fulfilling your vision. No, you can't do that, because you have people that have children that fulfill their vision. That's not an excuse. No. Do not let that spirit of quitting, that spirit of not finishing hit your life again. And this time next year, you're going to be in the same place, the same predicament, looking for a word, looking for a prophecy, looking for confirmation to say that your life was supposed to be better, that your life is going to be better. I'm here today to tell you now that your life is designed to be better, but you have to get in position. You got to make some changes about yourself. There's some things that you have to do differently. That's why some of you are literally saying to yourself, I just don't understand why this is happening to me. I don't understand why I don't have any money. I don't understand why I'm always broke. I don't understand. I don't understand. Can I help you? You got to do something differently, because the minute you start doing something differently, you're going to get a different result. And I'm not talking about do something different on your term. Do something different according to principle. Okay? Principle, because you got to understand the principles of God have already been established. And one of the things the word of the Lord says, that it's his principles that guarantee a thing. So you got to be willing to follow the principles of God if you desire more for your life. Why? Because when God created us, he created us to have harvest. He created us to be successful. That's why he kept telling us he is the King of Kings and he's the Lord of Lords. That's why he kept telling us he owned all the cattle on a hill, because he wanted you to know that at the end of the day, when you feel like you don't have no one, I am the source. God is the source. God is the one that you're looking for, okay? So you got to understand, man, my vision still ain't coming. That's because you're not following the principles of God that God said will cause your vision to happen. Or you trying to make something new. You trying to rewrite the story. No, there's nothing new up under the sun. Therefore, you got to understand that's why the Bible is still used today and the Bible still stands today. Why? Because there's nothing new up under the sun. And you have to understand, you're trying to get to this place. Oh, man, if this is good, press share the video. Share the video. I'm trying to help you tonight. Share the video and tag 4 people. But let me tell you, I'm trying to get you to a place where you're not constantly chasing a dream, but you're achieving a dream. And in order for you to achieve a dream, even when you're tired, you got to make sure you wrote it down, because that's principle. You got to understand that God works off the principle of writing. He wants you to write it down. That's how we got the Bible, because somebody wrote it down. You have to understand that there is power in writing. Talking is good. Speaking is good. But can I help you? When you write something down, it gains more power. When you write when you write something down, it has more authority. When you write something down, you can remember it. When you write something down, you can bring it back. But see, sometimes when you speak things, you can forget those things. But if you wrote it down, it don't matter if you forgot, because you can go read it. You can go read it. I'm trying to help you. You can go read it. So you need to understand that some of the things that you're reliving over and over again, and they're called cycles, is because you're not following the principles of God. And God gonna keep knocking that over your head until you say, I'm gonna trust God, but I'm also gonna try God. Because some of you are saying you trust God, but you ain't trying God. You're trying God at your level. You're trying God the way you want to try him. But can you try his principles for a year? If you try the principles of God for a year, your entire life will shift, your entire life will change, and you will be in a different place. I'm telling you, I'm a living witness to this. When you follow the principles of God, what you are struggling over now, you will not be struggling over. I'm trying to help you, because what you are struggling over, you're not supposed to be struggling over. You're not supposed to be struggling over it. You're not supposed to be trying to figure out how your bills are going to get paid. You're not supposed to be behind on your bills. I'm telling you, if you follow the principles of God, that's not going to happen for you. Do you really think everybody is concerned about their bills being paid? Do you believe that everybody struggles to pay their bills? No. Do you really believe that every marriage, money is an issue for them? No, that's not true. Because if you follow the principles of God, y'all got to follow the principles of God. Let me tell you, that's just like today. Today, I called my husband while he was at work, and I said, look, I said, start next month, I'm going to the bank. I said, I'm going to the bank, and I'm going to have us open up an investment account. I said, so I'm going to need you to give me this amount every single week, and I'm going to give that same amount every single week, okay? And we're going to have it pulled out automatically to go in the investment account. My husband, what did he say to me? He said, all right, just let me know when. Now, watch this. Has it always been that way? No, it has not always been that way. Why are we doing this? Or why this? But guess what? When you change your life, I'm trying to help y'all. When you change your life, when you change and say, God, I am surrendering and I am going to follow your principles, God will put everything else in alignment, not you. God will. What you think will be hard will not be hard, because God's principles speak for themselves. Literally, they speak for themselves. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. You guys, I've gotten to a point. It's just, the more you grow in God, the more you do things differently. You're not just growing in God to go to church more, to read his word more. You're growing into God so that you may have life, and life more abundantly. Life and life more abundantly, not just after your lifetime here, but also while you're here on earth. God wants you to pull heaven down and sit on it. God wants you to experience it, but you have to make up in your mind. And I know people, you're like, oh, no, listen, no. You have to make up in your mind, I am not going to live for God based on my term, but I'm going to live for God based on his term, and you're going to receive the results of favor, the results of harvest. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. Literally, you guys, I'm going to tell you, if you, I need you to understand, if you haven't shared the video, share the video. If you haven't tagged you for, tag you for. But listen, you guys. So I read The Blessed Life by Robert Morris, thanks to Pastor Michael Todd and Transformation Church. And it changed my life. It didn't change my life in a month, two. It changed my life the minute I started to read the book. My life changed. My life changed. Some of you are trying to change your life. If you are trying to change your life is not going to change. You have to make a decision to change your life. As I started reading that book, my life changed. Now, my life was already changing. Why? Because I made a decision years ago to change my life. And as my life started changing years ago, God, our Father, began to place things in front of me for me to change. Some of those things hurt. Some of those things were painful. But I made a decision that I wanted to change. I did not know what it would take for me to change. I still don't know what it's going to take for me to get my complete change. But the Lord our God, He knows. So some of the things that were thrown at me, they were not good feelings. They were horrible feelings. But it's what I needed so that I could change. So as I continue to go through my journey, God, our Father, constantly places things in front of me that allows me to change. So the more I change, the more I see what I wrote. The more I change, the more I see what I envisioned in my head. It's not that my visions were false illusions. It's not that my visions it's not that what they prophesied to me was false. No, it's that I had to get in alignment and I had to make a decision to change. Because if I don't change, I can't receive what was prophesied. If I don't change, I can't receive what I wrote down. If I don't change, I won't receive the better lifestyle. I don't care how many times you speak a big house over your life. If you do not put yourself in alignment and decide to change some things about what you're doing, you're just going to be dreaming about a big house. But you can have that big house. All you have to do is what? Change. What does that mean? That means you need someone to build your credit. Why? Because you want the big house. You also need to gain wisdom on how to buy a big house. Oh, you thought it was going to fall on your lap. You thought somebody was going to come to you and say, I want to give you this big house. Is that possible? Yes, it is. But the thing is, timing. You don't know when it's going to happen. But when you wrote down that you were going to get a big house, you wrote down you wanted a big house. And if you want that big house in 5 years, you have to gain wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on what it's going to take for you to get a big house. That means you have to go to the bank, and ask them, oh, you don't want them to know your credit, right? Okay, well, why not? Because guess what? As long as you are ashamed of your credit, you're not going to be able to fulfill the vision inside of your head. You think you're the only one with bad credit? You think you're the only one that has talked to them with bad credit? No. So guess what? Stop looking at your now and start living for your future. Stop living for your now, because your now will keep you in your now, and it will recycle, and recycle. You are trying to get your vision to come to pass. So you got to pull your future to your now. How do you do that? When you go to the bank, you say, I got bad credit. My credit score is this. You can pull it if you want because it's horrible, right? And you ask them, I will buy a house for this value, this amount, or whatever in the next 5 years. How do I do that? You sit down with them and you ask them, how do you do it? And they're going to tell you, well, first you're going to fix your credit. Oh, this is about an income that you have to make a year. This is the things that you have to do. What do you do in that moment? They give you that knowledge and that understanding and that wisdom. You change. I'm trying to help somebody tonight. You change. And what I begin to understand is when you're tired and you don't feel like talking to God and you don't feel like talking to anyone else and you don't feel like praying, right? when you read your vision, God will hit you again with something that will allow you to be positioned to change. Oh, so I got to do this. I got to have this amount of income. So guess what? If you're not making that amount of income, you start applying for new jobs, right? To get that amount of income, or you create a business. I didn't say leave your job. You create a business that's going to replace the amount that you're not making on your job so that you can get the house that you envision. See, God never told you it wasn't going to be hard. God never told you it was going to be easy. What God told you was you can have it. God told you that you can literally have it, but you got to get in position. And getting in position requires change. It requires change. It requires change. One thing I've come to realize as I mature in God, as I mature as a person, I begin to realize something. It means nothing to be blessed with something if you don't have the qualifications. When I say qualifications, I'm talking about the wisdom, the maturity, and the discipline to keep it. I'm going to say that again. It means nothing to be blessed with something if you don't have the discipline, the qualifications, right? The wisdom to actually keep it. Because what happens is if you don't have the wisdom, you don't have the qualification, you don't have the maturity to keep it, you're going to find yourself going through continuous cycles. How many of you are tired of the cycles? You're tired of the cycles. And I know, I may be stepping on some toes, but I need you to understand something. I need you to understand in this season of my life, I am not connecting to people who speak stuff, but they're not willing to change for what they're speaking. You got to change for what you're speaking. Come on now. You want your tax bracket to change, but you're not changing so the tax bracket can change. Come on. I'm trying to help you. I really am. I hope I'm helping you. I hope I'm helping somebody because I know you're tired. You're tired. I promise you all, when you do things differently and you change based off the vision, you get different results. And the results you get are the results you've been waiting for. And the whole time, your vision was just waiting for you to change. So you're tired because you haven't changed. Oh, I know I probably stepped on somebody's toe. You're tired because you haven't changed. Can we just be honest tonight? You're tired because you haven't changed. Blessings to you, Lashana. You're tired because you haven't changed. God bless you, Leisha. You're tired because you haven't changed. God bless you, Vanessa. You're tired because you haven't changed. God bless you, Letta. I'm telling you, God bless you, Dietrich. Listen, you're tired because you haven't changed. Can we be honest? Can we just be honest? I'm actually tired because I ain't changed. But I'm here tonight to tell you. I'm here tonight to tell you. All you got to do is change. And you will watch your vision become life. You will watch your vision become life. Woo. Not in in 5 years from now. No. The minute you decide to change, your life changes. Your life changes. I'm telling you. The minute you decide to change, your life changes. God doesn't need 5 years. God doesn't need 10 years. He needs now. If you can just change now, he can change your life now. Man, so you thought if you change now, it'll take him 5 years to change your life. No. If you change now, he changes your life now. And you will begin to experience the hand of God like never before, the favor of God like never before. I'm telling you, what you used to stress over, you won't stress over. You just got to make changes. Because let me tell you something, the only reason you can't pay your bills, because you ain't changed to pay your bills. Oh, wait. See, You may be living above your means. It's time for you to change. Because if you change and you start living in your means or below your means, one day, sooner than you think, what used to be above your means will be in your means. Some of you, you're struggling with your bills because you don't pay God first. I just told someone this today. It's amazing how people don't pay God first. Robert Morris, he made a statement in his book. He said, a lot of people don't understand why the words say, if you don't pay God first, you're stealing from God. But the truth is you are, but you're also keeping yourself from the blessings of God, the way that God wants to bless you. I told somebody this today. I said, people that don't pay their tithes really need to realize that when you don't pay your tithes, you end up spending more money than you need to spend. And you end up spending more than the amount of tithes you would have paid. Because it seems like something always comes up for people that don't pay their tithes. And they still got to let that money go, plus more, when they could have just paid their tithes and avoided this right here. Some of you know what I'm talking about because you don't pay your tithes. And you know it seems like every month something come up that's pulling from your pocketbook, that's pulling from your purse, that's pulling from your wallet. And you're like, wait a minute, time out. And it puts you in a bind. Oh, some of you, y'all may not admit it, but some of you know what I'm talking about. Why? Because you're not following the principles of God. And then some of you that don't pay your tithes, you're constantly speaking wealth upon your life. How in the world do you expect God, our Father, to give you wealth and you don't follow his principle? You don't follow his principle. Some of you make every excuse not to give, but you want someone to give to you. I'm trying to help you because you're tired. And it's like you're reliving a cycle over and over again. And I want that cycle to stop for you because I want you to experience all of God. I want you to experience the favor of God. Now, don't get me wrong. It's some of you, you pay your tithes. You pay your tithes faithfully. You pay your tithes down to $1. And guess what? You're going to watch God move in your life, and people connected to you are not going to understand. Now, then there's some of you that pay your tithes. And you're like, why is nothing moving? Because you haven't changed. You need to change your surrounding. You need to change your environment. Why? Because your environment and your surroundings can't go with you where God is trying to take you. God wants to give you a better lifestyle. But there's some changes that you have to do in your life, because if you don't make those changes, all it's going to do is you're going to get it and you're going to end up back in the very place you said you'll never end up back. Why? Because you did not make the proper changes. It's not just about changing you, but you also got to change your surroundings. You got to change your conversation. You got to change who you're connected to. Hello? You got to change it. I'm telling you. And your life will change. You know, I have some people that say, oh, you're just so blessed. You're so blessed. You know, they say, you're just always happy. And it's not that, you know, it's not that. It's that the more you mature in God, the more you understand. The more you mature in God. I love that you asked that question, Reba, and you are not that. I'm glad you asked that question. Oh, I'm going to actually be going over all of that. I promise you I am. What I want you to do, though, one of the things I want you to do, because this is how we got on it. I want you to go to Amazon and order The Blessed Life by Robert Morris, okay? Because, okay, but I'm gonna break down some of the principles, okay? Because this is the thing that some people, they confuse, all right? So, you know, a lot of people bring up the New Testament, and they bring up the New Testament, and he talks about it in his book, but they bring up the New Testament, and then they'll say, well, God says, you know, Jesus died on the cross for us so that, you know, those commandments don't mean it. You know, we could throw those commandments away, right? Because Jesus died on the cross for us, and he said, love your neighbor and love yourself, right? But what we have to understand is outside of that law was still principles of God. It was still principles. So why? Okay, so you take away the commandments, right? So it's okay to commit adultery, right? It's okay. No, it's not. That's a principle of God. Why? Because principles bring on blessings. Principles of God do not change. So there are certain things that, you know, he still, even though some of those things were in the law, principles does not change. Principles has nothing to do with law, but it has everything to do with lifestyle. And it happens to be the key to having that kingdom lifestyle, that blessing, and that favored lifestyle. And that's a thing that a lot of teaching, a lot of preachers and pastors are not teaching. They're not teaching principle. But this is the thing, and I have to be real with this. Believe it or not, there are a lot of other churches, right, outside of certain churches, right, that teach principle. And that's why one of the things they don't struggle with is money, or one of the things they don't struggle with is confusion. Thank you so much for putting that link, Jasmine. One of the things they don't struggle with is relationships, because they're taught certain principles. So you have to understand that there are principles to this thing. Like I'm gonna be real. You know, being clean, you know, the word of the Lord talks about that, being clean. We have to be clean. But we've gotten to a point where even being unclean has become normal. It's become normal. But how in the world can we, you know, be a blessing, or how in the world can we really see the favor of God? Because one of the things that we have to understand is God does not change. And so because he does not change, we have to understand that we're the one that's required to change, because he doesn't change. So what am I saying? Even though Jesus died on the cross and he was like, look, it ain't even about the laws no more, right? It ain't about that. God still didn't change. So if he didn't change, his principles didn't change. So there are still requirements that God requires. We have to understand this. And once you understand that, your life will change. Your life will change. Now, this is the thing. And it's so powerful. It's just so powerful that we have to understand is, I want you to ask yourself right now, each of you watching, and if you haven't shared, make sure you share, tag it for, right? I want you to ask yourself, what is the biggest area that you have an issue in? Now, some of you, it may be relationship. Some of you, it may be finances, but what is the biggest area that you struggle with? I just want you to throw it in the chat. What is the biggest area you struggle with? What is it? Is it money? Is it relationship? Is it marriage? What is the biggest area that you struggle with? Just throw it in there. Throw it in. I want to see your different comments. And you know, don't be ashamed, because you're not the only one. You're not the only one. But what I want you to understand about your biggest struggle is that God has principles for it. And if you can follow suit with his principles, what you struggle over, you won't struggle. Relationships. So April put relationships. There are so many people, especially during this, you know, pandemic and everything like that, you know, relationships is really like, because you really, you know, if you've been by yourself and you seek a relationship. So relationship, do you not know that there are principles that you can follow by God that will allow that area to no longer be a struggle? I'm telling you, girl. I'm telling you, because even as a wife, during our wives ministry, we listen to some great leaders that can help, that's been married for years and things of that nature. We're reading different books. Prime example, you may want to order this book. I have everyone that's a part of Increase, if they want, you know, that blessed marriage, to get this book here. We're reading this book for the month of May. I've already started it, and man, it's amazing. It's amazing. And this one is by Dr. Miles Monroe. Let me help y'all. Let me help y'all on something. when I say my life changed, y'all. My life changed. I never thought that I would see myself going to the park just to read a book. Okay. I never saw myself before I go to sleep reading a book. And I've been doing that since March. Can I be honest with y'all? Like, this is an addition for me. I've been doing this since March, and my life has changed. My life has changed from just a book, picking up a book, right? And so, and let me tell y'all, don't blame your kids. Don't do that. When I go to the park, my son is in the car with me. And you know, my son don't read. He's 2 years old, but he has his book in his hand. And it's like the Spirit of the Lord soothes him and it says, your mom is reading. And he sits there until I'm done with the chapter that I'm reading. I've gotten to a point where I used to waste time. I'm not wasting time anymore, because the visions I see inside of my head, I need them to come to pass. So I'm willing to change so that no more of my time can be wasted. So the reason I show this book is for those that are married, but this book is good for those that are not married. And we learned that during the wives ministry. As we go over stuff, it's like, man, if I knew this before I got married, right? So some of you need to get some books in your system, some wisdom in your system, and you will make better decisions, okay? Better decisions. And why is this? Because when you change certain things about your life changes. So relationships, confidence, Letta, I hope I'm saying her name right, Lita Letta, she said confidence. Oh man, do you not know when you're dealing with confidence, that is so tricky there, right? Because it's just so many different levels, right? But the key to really breaking out of something like that or breaking into something like that is to go against self. Go against self. So when your self says no, you jump, right? That's how you break it. I'm telling you, because I think that's something that, you know, all of us have dealt with over the course of our life. And then you have Reba, who says finances first, relationship second. These are things that I'm telling you that we deal with, okay? But we got to follow the principles of God. There are principles to this thing. They are, and your life will change. It was designed for your life to change. And that's why increase, that's my focus now. My focus is teaching the principles of God. Teaching the principles of God so that you can experience heaven on earth. You can experience literally the favor of God. I don't want to just prophesy the favor. I don't want to just speak the favor of God on your life. I want you to experience it. And the only way to do that, you got to change for it. It's not just about walking through the door anymore. It's not just about that. It's what you do when you walk through that door. It's what you do. Because we prophesy that all the time. And you're going to walk through that door. But it's not just about walking through the door. It's about what you do when you walk through that door. Because some people walk through the door and then they have to walk out the door because they didn't know what to do when they walked through it. So, like I said, I just want to get on here, you know, and really talk to you because some of you are tired. You're tired. But there's some changes that have to be made. And that's why you write things down. Because when you're tired, you don't necessarily want to pray. No, that doesn't make you less than. No, it doesn't. So don't feel ashamed, you know, don't feel ashamed. Just go back and read so you can run with it. Read what you wrote so you can run with it, you know. So you guys, I'm super excited. I just want to get on here and give you some things and to also tell you, ladies, all right, starting next month, the month of May, for 2 months, 20 women, you may be that woman. If you're that woman, I need you to inbox me. If you don't inbox me, because we're going through a freedom experience for the next 2 months. a freedom experience. We're going to be free from some things, receive our change so that we can get what God has for us and our life can change. All right. So definitely, if you're one of those women, inbox me. I would love to speak to you and give you the breakdown of it. I'm telling you, it's going to be a blessing. It's going to be a blessing for you. It's going to be a blessing to you, not only you, but also to your family. It's going to be amazing. That's all I can say. And it's going to be for 2 months, 2 months. My next one will not be until October. So you want to get on this one. You want to jump on this one, right? Jump on this one. And if you haven't shared the video, share the video. If you haven't tagged it for, tag it for. But I'm only looking for 20 women. I don't want to do too many women because this is personal and this is your freedom. So only 20 women. I do have some women that's in line to register, some women that have registered. And so, hey, inbox me if you're one of those women. Come on, let's win. Let's win. And not let's talk about it, but let's win. Let's win. And we have to be like let's say, we have to be confident in ourselves. We have to be confident in ourselves, because as I go through this change in me, it's a lot of things that are changing about me. Because we live in a world now where it's all about, oh man, you gotta have the right hair and the right lashes and the right makeup. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I think it's amazing. Trust me, I do. I think it's amazing, but I want you to become confident in your natural skin, your natural self. Because, as I go on social media, I see a lot of, women that may have gotten surgeries and stuff. And, I'll post different stuff. It ain't for me. I'm not trying to get no surgery, none of that. That's not me. I love myself. But I post certain things when I see something may have went wrong, or I read articles and I see where a person did get the surgery or did get a change, and then they wanted to renege, they wanted to go against it, but it might have been too late, right? And so that's one of the things that we're going to deal with during the freedom experience as well. You get into a place where you love you from the inside out. You embrace you and things of that nature, because you'll be surprised how many women are not embracing their self, not loving their self. I want you to love you. I want you to love yourself, embrace yourself, and realize that you are beautiful. God created you to be beautiful. So during this freedom experience, we're actually going to be touching day-to-day things, life experiences, relationships, business. We're going to be touching we're going to be touching so much. And that's why I'm going to be giving so much during the next 2 months. That's going to really bless you. So like I said, if you feel like you're one of those women and you're like, I'm really ready to win this time, you definitely want to plug in. And if you have other women that you're connected to, other queens that you're connected to, and you feel like they need this, you want to reach out to them so that they can register for this one for the next 2 months. All right. So you all, thank you. I pray that this helped you. If it helped you, just say it helped me. You helped me tonight. In the chat session, heart it up. Share the video, tag 4. If you would like to sow into our ministry, a gigantic faith seed towards our quad gigantic faith seed for the end of the year, or you just want to sow into the ministry, feel free to cash out Team Increase 2019, Team Increase 2019. And in the subject line, put gigantic faith. So you guys, I am Prophetess Timera Bell with Increase Global, and I thank you for allowing me to help you tonight. And I'm just ready for you to walk in it. I'm ready for you to run in it. I'm ready for you to receive all that God has for you. I love each and every one of you. I thank God for you. If you need to set up a one-on-one, inbox me to schedule your one-on-one session. You all have a blessed night. I pray that your weekend is great. Continue to stay safe. And get ready for an amazing change for your life to change. Amen. God bless you. God